Hey guys, Paul Kepner here. Welcome back. On this video, we are going to review the Meike 35mm T2.2 cinema lens. Now, I'm pretty excited about this lens, and I know I've said that about other ones in the past, but on this one at the 35mm mark, you really start being able to get separation between your subject and the background, as well as from the camera. So you can get that nice bokeh. The 12, 16, and 25 are very capable of doing it, but you get uncomfortably close when you're trying to shoot your subjects. With the 35, you can get a little bit of a distance and still get a nice creamy background. Just like all the rest of the cinema lenses that they have, you have a 77mm inner filter thread. You have an 80mm outer diameter right here. The entire lens is all metal, aluminum. So you have a dampened gear for focus, and you also have a dampened gear for aperture. The aperture has 10 rounded blades, so you get a perfect circle every time, and it's declicked. You can change aperture on the fly without having to worry about jumping from one f-stop to another on stills lenses. This is the next one in the series of the Meike lenses. They also have the 25mm, the 16mm, and the 12mm. Now you'll notice the 12 is a little shorter and the 35 is a little taller than the other ones, but if you put them all side by side, you should be able to see this. All the gears line up. This lens performs great when paired with the other lenses, and if you're on a shoot and you need to change lenses, you have a Mattebox, you have a follow focus, whatever, it's very easy to take this lens, remove it, and put in another one without having to move your follow focus or adjust your Mattebox. Went out and did some test shots, tested this for bokeh so you can see what it's like when it's wide open and rack focusing. I also tested it for sharpness, for flaring. I compared it with on a rack focus test with Canon FD lenses and also with Contax Zeiss lenses, so that way you can see exactly how it would compare with standard stills lenses that most people are familiar with. These are in micro 4/3 mounts, so it'll work with your Blackmagic Pocket 4K, the original Blackmagic Pocket, the GH3, 4, 5, 5S, your Blackmagic micro cinema camera. So it's very usable. Also, with all the other Meike cinema lenses, if you get it in a micro 4/3 mount, you can get an adapter that goes from micro 4/3 to Sony E, and you can use this on any of your Sony cameras, which are APS-C or full frame. Okay, on the four lenses the cinema lenses that Meike has, people ask quite often about super 35mm coverage. On your 12mm, it will not cover. It will vignette quite a bit, pretty heavily. The 16mm will work on a 35mm camera. You will get some vignetting on it. The 25 will fully cover a Super 35, and the 35 will also fully cover a Super 35. Okay, let's go out and look at the test shots from the rack focusing. That way you can see how the bokeh and the shallow depth of field is. Also look at some of the nighttime bokeh shots to see how your lights will look. Shot a focus chart and also a high contrast scene to look for any chromatic aberrations. Okay, this is the Meike 35mm T2.2. I'm doing a rack focus test. Again, this is wide open. I'm using an ND8 outside because it is very, very bright. This is basically to show you how it does outside. You will notice on the extreme, on the white pickup truck, there is some purple fringing as you focus out. As you stop down to T2.8, the fringing goes away. Very, very minimal. Okay, this is a Canon FD 35mm f2 SSC lens. I'm doing a rack focus just for a comparison so you can see how the Meike holds up against other vintage lenses that are commonly out there and being used. And this video is the Contact Zeiss 35mm f2.8 wide open, again to show comparison on how the Meike compares with vintage lenses that are being used currently. Okay, on this one I'm doing a rack focus. I'm focused in on the tree, and then I'll go full bokeh so you can see what it looks like at the extreme. You can see that the bokeh is nice and round and a perfect circle. I will also stop it down so that way you can see as you stop down. You still get the same nice round bokeh. In the scene I set up several random items of different colors and brightness and textures so you can see how the lens reacts wide open. Here's a cameo from Sky. You can see the R2D2 is nice and sharp, the rosemary is sharp, and the little party thing on the right is nice and sharp. Again, this is at T2.2. And there's Sky again. Okay, this is a sharpness test starting out at T2.2 wide open. I have not adjusted the shutter or the lighting, and I will gradually stop it down to T2.8, T4, T5.6, and T8. Okay, here's flare testing. The lens is wide open at T2.2 and just using a flashlight. As you see, it can give you some nice rainbow-like flares and some small orbs that have your teals and purples. Very pleasant flare. After you saw everything about this lens, I hope it helps you decide on if this lens will work for you or for your project. Personally, I enjoy using them. They're very sharp, very clean. Like I said in the video, in very extreme high contrast situations, you get a little bit of purple fringing. Once you stop down to T2.8, it'll go away. But other than that, it's pretty good. I like it. I'm really enjoying using this. Actually, my favorite focal ranges that I enjoy shooting with the most are 35 to 85. The wider ones are great for me for more establishing shots, or if you want to get an uncomfortable up close shot and it's a little bit of a distorted look on their face. But from a 35 to an 85, usually the people's faces are pretty normal and look nicer to me. So anyway, hope this video helps you. If you have any comments or questions, be sure to leave them in the comment section. Be sure and hit the subscribe button, and be sure and click on the bell. That way you'll be notified on any new videos that are uploaded. We also have some other lens reviews and another nice vintage anamorphic lens coming up. So pretty excited about that. It was a long time coming. But anyway, this is Paul Kepner with Kepcraft Media Productions, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.